Hello and welcome. My name is Merely Adequate, and you're here to learn how to build a spider farm, and you may be confused why we're in this super flat world when all spider farms are built underground with spider spawners. Well, I've been thinking a lot about how to teach you this, because if you're building it correctly, then each one is slightly different, so I can't just show you a block by block tutorial. I guess if you're building it with a single spawner, I could do that, but please, seriously, don't build this with a single spawner. It's way too slow. You definitely want 2, or if you're super lucky, 3 spawners working at the same time. Okay, let me set up a couple spawners here, and then I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about. Okay, you may already know this, but you need to be within 14 blocks of a mob spawner for it to activate. As you see there, if you get beyond 14 blocks, it'll die out. If you're lucky, you can be in a location where you can activate more than one mob spawner at once. If we're talking about spiders, the most common occurrence for this is in mine shafts. You can get 2, possibly 3, or maybe more of these activating at once in a mine shaft. So this is where you're going to want to look for these. A mob spawner will spawn mobs in this area, obviously front and back as well, but 9 across, 4 up and down. So you're going to need to create yourself a space that's the minimum this size, and then we'll probably make it slightly bigger so the 2 will work together. Okay, and when you have dug out your areas, it'll look something like this, if not bigger. You can definitely make it bigger, but this is the minimum of what you want to do. And as you see, I put a torch on each one to make sure that it won't start spawning on me while I'm working. The next thing we need to do is figure out how we want them to flow into each other. Because what we want to do is have them both flow into a single location and then come and meet me wherever I am standing. So I was thinking that they would flow this way towards each other, and I could stand probably, let's see, here I think? Oh dear, this is one of the hard things, is making sure you can see. Okay, so I think if I stood here, here. Yes, if I stand here, then these can flow over and then towards me. Then I can have these travel a little bit further down this way, but then meet there and come towards me. That way I can stand right here and kill all of them, and I still have that one activated, and if I can see here, yes, I still have that one activated. Does that make sense? This is something that's going to vary for whatever you do. You have to figure out where you can stand if they're both activated, but yet everything can flow into an area where they're coming down a 2 wide channel right at you. Okay? So let's start moving around some spiders, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Okay, this room is 9 blocks across in depth, and water will only flow 8 before it stops. So what we're going to need to do is put a row of blocks in the back like this, and then put water all the way across. And that will push it to the very edge of the room. Okay? And then what we're going to want to do, you could probably just go down 1, but I like to go down 2, which is going to be a bit of a problem since I built this in a flat world. Okay, 1 second. Let me make myself a trough and I'll be right back. Okay, after raising the whole thing up, because I totally miscounted, I made myself a little trough. Now what I have here is the first 7 blocks are on this level, and then it goes down a level so that when I put in the 2 water sources here, it'll flow all the way down here to the end. Okay? And then this spot right here is where we're going to kill them, and then we're going to stand just back here. And I'll explain that in a minute of why it's so. But if you look, you can see when anything spawns in here, it's going to flow all the way to this edge. It's going to drop off this edge, and then flow all the way over to this direction. Okay? Now what we want to do is have this one flow over and then flow this direction to where it also falls into the trough to come back this way. And we're going to use the same tactic of putting a row of blocks here in the back and water. I think I actually made this, yeah, 10. Okay, so this actually is where the 9th block is. Great. And then we're going to step down, move over 7. If we need to move over again, we can. This is all going to depend on where your spawners are. All you're trying to do is use this water flow of stepping down and moving them and trying to get them all into a single 2-wide tunnel or channel that then brings them right to you where you're going to be standing. Okay? Let me do a little bit more here because, like I said, it's not block for block. So let me go ahead and do what I said, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I just allowed this to continue on. I broke it a block early, so it's 7, so it can continue on. You really just want it to stop cold before you change a 90-degree direction. So I allowed this source to flow all the way down to here, and then it's going to drop down, and then it's going to go a few over, and then I made sure that this is a run of 8, so it'll stop perfectly there, depositing them here to flow back at me here. All right? And that's all we're doing. We're just moving the spiders all the way into one location so that whenever I am standing here, I can kill them easily all from one spot, and I'm activating both of the spawners at the same time. All right, now that I've shown you how everything goes, I kind of just covered it all up so we can go to the next phase. Let's get a spectator. Ooh. That's weird. Game sounds. I moved into spectator mode here so you can move around freely. So as I showed you, the first spawner moving over, dropping them down, and bringing them to me here. And the second spawner moving down multiple levels, and then bringing it over until it's right here, once again, bringing them to me. Okay, if I were to remove the torches, spiders would start coming at me, and that would be a bad thing because I have no way of stopping them yet. So let's put up a barrier that will stop them from getting to me. Okay, so we don't want to put the barrier right here because then the spiders just kind of like bob around and do stuff right here in the water. We want them to come all the way to the end of the water. So we're going to leave that place blank, and then we're going to put a wall and a wall. We're going to dig into the wall here and put another wall piece and wall piece. And then we're going to put a fence and a fence. And believe it or not, that is, well, I mean, no ceiling yet, but that's all you need to keep them from getting to you. You can walk between these. Not perfectly, a little bit of a, they're a little bit tight. But you can walk between them, but they cannot. If you are to stand right up against this fence when you're trying to kill them, every once in a while a spider will hit you, so you probably shouldn't, AFK right here. If you just step back a little bit, then you're fine. And you can just kill them as much as you want. I like to do a couple different things here. I like to put some wool in here. Now, you may not have wool when you start this, but obviously once you start killing spiders, you can turn their string into wool. And you can put wool all around here. And the reason for that is because other than, I think, shears with efficiency 5, I think, wool is not quick broken by any tool. So you can use your axe, your pick, your hoe, sword, whatever you want to hack at these things and get the XP without damaging the walls and floor around you. Okay, let me put up some wool and then we will finish up this last little bit. And this is it with the wool in. You'll see what I like to do is here at the very end, I like to drop it down. So as they come down here, you block off the top and block it even lower so that ultimately by the time they get to the end, they are squeezing under this one tall block coming right at you. Boop, boop. And you can stand, well, down here and kill them absolutely no problem, super efficiently. I'd even put even more wool back there, actually. I should have done that. And there you go. So there are a couple things left to do that are really only important for like servers. 1 second. Most servers like for you to have a way to turn off your farms. And the way to turn off these farms is by adding light. And the easiest way to do that is to add a redstone lamp in here. Actually, let's bring it down 1. You can even bring it down 2. Really, you just want to cover up the top to keep spiders from spawning on top and hanging out there. But with a redstone lamp in there, and then one on the other one, you'll just need to bring the dust to some central location. Down there. And over there. So that you can stand here and flick your switch and turn your lamps on and off. Once again, this is not a block-by-block tutorial, but it's more just instructional on how to do things to make it easy. Okay, with my quick and janky redstone going to each of them, you can see inside they are plenty lit up. There we go. Perfect, and they're not running. Let me hop out of spectator mode, flip this switch, and then you'll see that they will start spawning you know, all the little critters. And here they come. Coming from left and right and below. Yep, they go right underneath. The water bobs them underneath, coming right at me. Oh yeah, there they are. They're coming from the side as well. Let's hop back in spectator mode again. You can see them coming. They're spawning there. Coming down and over. And they're spawning here. Oh, I don't think I'm in hard mode. That's probably why I don't have as many coming down. And then they come over right to me. And then you can just stand here and kill them. Now the reason I'm doing this tutorial is someone recently asked me, because they saw me make one in my survival world, or my Let's Play world, that was nothing like this. And I have to tell you, I built that one wrong. Because I just learned that spiders behave differently with their spawners than any other mob. All the other mob spawners, you'll get about 6 mobs that spawn near it. And as long as those mobs are near the spawner, then the spawner will stop working. So you either have to kill them or move them far away from the spawner in order for the spawner to keep going. And so the way to do that is use water streams to move them up, over, around, wherever you need to move them to get them away so that your spawner will keep cranking out mobs. Well, spider spawners, they don't do that. They'll just keep cranking out no matter what. And so I used to bring them down and have them come up under my feet, away from the distance of the mob spawner, and then come up on the other side of me so I can kill them and keep cranking out spiders. And I never needed to do that. Never. They just come. This is it. This is all you need. If you want to get super fancy, then they're at the end of the flow where they appear down there. You can put a trident killer if you want, and then you want to do it yourself. It can just go on its own. But this is all you need to do. Super, super, super simple. Just understand the few mechanics of how big a space you need, how the water is supposed to flow, and you know, lighting up the space, and most importantly, that wall, fence, wall pattern down there that allows you to hit them without them coming through. And that's it. Okay. Well, I'm sorry this has been a weird tutorial. If this is not what you were looking for, if you're looking for a block by block, I'm sorry this is not it. But hopefully now you have a better understanding of how spider spawners work, and how no matter how you find, what configuration you find the spawners in your world, you'll be able to build something similar to this and get it working. Alright, if you have any questions, please leave them below. I'd love to answer them. And other than that, I just hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found it adequate.